the Shock, it'd be a good bounce back where, again, you don't expect the defending champions to start out the season 1-3, but Valiant are able to bring this back. That's exactly what would happen. So,
all right, KSP, give me this jump shot. Nope. He's going back. Oh, good effort, respect. Now back to the mirror match.
You always have to go for it at the very least. You take the one opportunity, just don't stand the Widow. Don't want your team to yell at you.
Yeah, both teams going to take the fight now. Valiant taking a different approach than we've seen from previous teams. Likes you to cross this left side, although KSP keeping the crossfire going. Nice positioning from him, making it scary for the Shock to make a commitment.
Shock right now. Getting a lot of valuable positioning. KSP teleports to the back. Decent angle here, looking for Super, and Super immediately just give. That was great for the Valiant. Excellent focus fire. This fight's pretty much over.
Yeah, I think he pretty much saw it all here on the observing. Normally these fights are so chaotic, but KSP's teleport was what completely sealed that fight. Super totally unprepared for that TP, did not expect the all-in flank to come out from KSP, and he's able to just sit there, stand and deliver on Orion. You really don't win from that position ever. Rascal managing to farm a ton of ult for, but Valiant already diving forward, already pressing their advantage.
Oh no, Super's down. Immediately isolated. The Valiant just taking the fight with Shock. It's come. Keeper though catches the Moira. The Valiant now is starting to turn against him, but I have to say, it's not bad aggression there. It's forcing resources out of the Shock and just setting a tone.
Yeah, definitely. I like the aggression. Ends up working out for them. Great moves by Rascal to pick up the Reaper early, keep that fight interesting, but I think Dreamer's pin onto Violet is what actually secures that fight for the Valiant. Now KSF wants to push up with this Molten Core, but he knows if he gets caught alone, it's certainly death. So the question is, can Valiant maintain control of this castle despite the fact that they need their Lucio to stay pushing the card? I think they're just going to try and delay the Shock, but they're showing a lot of presence here.
Shatter in Dreamer does not connect. Shock. On. Still forced back a little bit here, Super waiting for Shadow of his own. Violet out. Valiant again just fighting Shock to Shock. Find themselves retreating a lot. Rascal couldn't get away. The Valiant just going directly into the castle gate.
Wow, and this should be one of the best moments for defenders to hold, but it gets completely stifled. The aggression from Valiant paying off big time. Boy, wants to keep this contest going. Mob does too with the sound barrier. It's a fight.
It's a really good delay by Choi. Bob is able to buy some time. His teleport works out. Super drops a Shatter, puts McGravy on the floor. McGravy though, gets up in time to drop himself. That's going to be it. Striker meanwhile finishing off, and the Shock just barely able to get back out. Can't say enough about both Choi and Mob to make that delay happen.
Yeah, great move by Choi, especially puts his life on the line. That's one of the best ways to use Diva Bomb. You know, I see a lot of inexperienced players use the Diva Bomb, always going for set plays, always, you know, shooting it across the map. But one of the most effective things you can do with the Diva Bomb is simply go into an all-in fight. A fight where your opponents think, oh, this guy must be feeding, he must be crazy. When they try and take you off, though, you just pop the self-destruct and remake afterwards. That's one of the most potent ways to use the skill, especially in a delayed situation. So props to Choi, perfect play from him, secures the fight for Shock, and that was looking really, really desperate.
Rascal wants to take the fight up the hill here. Using the ulti forward, forces the Valiant back. Valiant getting a taste of their own medicine. Just a bit here, coalescence out. However, now with Shock running out of resources, Valiant turn the tide. Ulti core of their own. Rascal feeling a little bit too hot there. The Shock moving back in. However, Mob was able to keep things out a bit. Knocks McGravy off and keeps the Shock in the fight.
Big moves from both Lucio's. Another big move from Rain. Finds Striker. That's massive. Damage is very limited for the Shock, but the beat comes in, keeping them alive. And Choi is the one delivering the DPS. Another.
Oh no! Taken down by Super mid-beat. What a brawl between both teams. The Valiant, though, still trying to push. Choi still delaying the self-destruct again, buying time. Choi always there when the Shock need a rock.
All right, I mean, Rain, he does fall on his beat there, but you got to give it to him. That fight was huge from Rain. First, he boops the retreating Super and Rascal back into the lava from KSF. That makes Rascal die and drops Super so low that the beat has to come out from Mob. So Rain really coming up huge with the environmental kills as well. Both Lucios making magic happen, but the beat cancellation is just too much there, and Shock able to continue to keep control at this point.
Striker loves it, giving Choi that support in chat. Now, see Valiant in once more. KSP, I've gone over. Got Blossom out, Super out of the fight. Good look here from Valiant to start things off. Troy though, still around. Violet, Coalescence, the shot healthy. Look towards Valiant, KSM about to let the ulti core go. Striker down. Valiant in a much better spot here, but they do have to push this back now.
Oh, I love these moves by Violet and Moth, delaying Carp and then retreating out to the castle, so they're still alive, still able to keep this contest flowing. Molten Core does come out and keep people alive. No self-destruct for Troy this time, so I would think this should be Valiant's fight. The lava makes it so hard to contest this Carp.
Got Molten Core everywhere, but the Valiant, they flared it just a little bit better as KSM cleans up at the end. Shock were not able to reset quite as well, but look at all the time they burned off the clock. They really made up for what was a tough point A defense.
Still only 2:30 left on the clock, so defense can't be too upset about this position. What they will be upset about, though, is the fact that these attackers have double support ult over 0 on the side of the Shock. Shock, you need to do something here, but the Cole's going to be really hard to deal with.
Coalescence out, the Valiant moving in. Lastro focuses down Super immediately again. The pressure on the Shock front line is absolutely insane, and the Valiant still can set a very quick time for Eichenwalde here, Jake, despite point B.
Yeah, great discipline from Rain as well, holding onto the sound barrier. That only cost him the Coalescence from Lastro. You can't ask for more. KSP in perfect position. Super instantly bursted down. The Cole can't save him.
Super's having a tough round here so far. KSP dancing out the spawn door, and the Valiant just a little bit further to go. They force a beat out of Moth. Dreamer drops the Shatter, 4 all on the floor, and that should be it. Super Shatter, too little, too late. The rest of Shock was dreaming.
Yeah, great attack from Valiant there. A couple times stymied by big plays on the Shock, but you know what? I think it all comes back to that first point, getting the snowball running so quickly with that TP in from KSP, getting right behind the back line and just completely bursting down Super. So Super is getting caught out here time and time again, but I don't know if it's as much his misplay as much as I think it's just the Valiant diving on top of him, surrounding him, not letting him escape from these tough situations.
You know, I just want to say our players are having fun, getting a little bit feisty in chat. If it is coming aboard, it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games.
Lots of fun and games in the chat. Everybody's spamming it. I don't know if you can see it. I'm hoping you guys can't, but maybe you can.
Hello there.
If you can, you know what? At the end of it, it's a game, and players are having fun, and definitely Valiant feeling pretty good about that round there. And 30 on the time bank. Respectable.
Shock just trying to keep their spirits up there. Yeah, that's a brutal attack. I mean, this series has been so back and forth. First map, Shock in total control. Second map, they just get dominated by the Sim Cheese from Valiant, and then Valiant have a clean defense to secure the map. Then Dorado, exactly the opposite story. Shock back in control. This is such a strange series. You know, they're playing the same comps all the time, but it's just one team rolling over the other over and over and over again. So both these teams showing that they really know how to work with momentum.
Yeah, and I mean, you love to see it. I think both these teams are well coached. The mechanical skill is out of this world. Shock, perhaps working with a little bit of advantage, but the Valiant is getting that right back. Shock being very swift here, Jake. They don't want to give the Valiant the edge, and Rain immediately smush.
Super sneaks up behind with a flanking Rhine pin. Don't try this at home, kids, please, especially not in my ranked games, but it works for Super, and somehow the Rhine gets the opening pick onto a Lucio with a pin. Maybe the first time I've seen that in Overwatch League.
I think Super's had enough. We both know Super pretty well. We know his bravado, as fake as sometimes it could be, but I think he's truly a little bit tilted now. He's had enough of getting focused down early in these fights. It's time for Super to have a bit of revenge.
He's heated. Time to dominate the competition with relative ease, as Super is known to say. Valiant going for the side swap. Question is, did the door... Oh, the door's already started to open, so the side swap missed its maximum value, but Valiant could still win a fight here.
Super's forehead is burning. The Shatter hits the ground, and 2 immediately out of the fight. This is revenge of Super. We're seeing it right now, Jake.
Super angry, Super smash, absolutely wiping the floor with Valiant with a big Shatter here. A fatty Shatty indeed, you might even say. And as well, tons of ultimate being farmed for the Shock. The side swap play for Valiant's a good idea, but that play is really all about preventing the door from opening. If you can fight on the cart before the door starts to open, then even if you lose the fight, you have a lot of time to reset. But that doesn't happen in this circumstance, so Shock not really missing much progress at all, and they have castle control once again, so Valiant in a tough spot here, gonna have to retake off the back of a Shatter from Dreamer.
One decisive engage after the other. Here comes the Valiant. Shatter in from Dreamer. Super having none of it. Blocks it away. The resurgence here for the Shock. They deal with the Shatter. And they do a little bit more. Rascal back on the payload. They're pushing with 4 the entire while. The Valiant can get in on this. Here comes Striker. In over the top of the Eagles now. Holding on to Death Blossom. Joy. It's gonna be... No, Striker sees the opportunity, gets 2! The Shock are unstoppable right now!
Yeah, it was McGravy forced into the back of the fight by choice. D.Va Bomb, he cannot be there to protect his teammates from Striker's Death Blossom, and Striker just pounces on the cleanup.
So the Shock, what a turn of fortune. Valiant had a great attack, but now the Shock burning rubber right now directly into the castle gate. The Valiant here try and come back out here. See what's effective. Shatter drops the Super drops the Shatter. This time, not getting much. Grabs the streak. Over, lopped down. The Valiant have a much better engagement as the Super goes to town.
I actually like that risk from Super. It's a really all-in play, but he shatters through the cart, hoping that Dreamer just won't be ready for it. But, you know, Valiant almost were guaranteed to win that recontest because they have that support advantage, and there's no real counterplay available for Shock. Shatter is the only thing they have in the tank, so the only way to win that fight would have been a lucky huge shatter by Super. So, you know what? I like taking that risk, especially given this map. It can be really hard to win the position Shock's in.
And I mean,
very realistic for
Shock
Valiant.
Super, everything's going well, so why not take that chance? Out. ASP though was right there. That was an immediate shutdown. Shock probably have to go back to the lane.
Maybe though, Rascal, he's still here. He's still got his shotgun, fighting where his Reaper couldn't.
Alrighty, so Rascal back on over. Back down. Troy knocked on over. So the Valiant have done a decent job of stabilizing here. Alrighty, so now the Shock, 2.5 minutes left. Their momentum slowed down just a bit. Gonna be looking for their entry. The Valiant right now. Right on the side. Warren Dreamer trying to take the fight over to the Shock. They drop the beat. Here comes the bomb from Gravy. Up, over. Forces the Shock back. Choi though. So while Dreamer uses the Shatter, doesn't get anything. And the disengage of the Shock feeling good. They're able to get out of the way. Now they can turn the fight back over. Here come the Shock. And what a fight between engages and disengages. The Shock just knowing how to back out at the right time. They get a good re-engage, and now they're going to get point B. They're still very, very much in this fight. 3.5 minutes just about left, and they have time to set up a time bank. You're a nice.
It's possible, but I think unlikely. Shock needs to make a big play here on third point. It can be very easy to hold at this point. Striker, though, he could be the big play they're holding for.
Ooh, Striker got right in there. Lastro out of the fight immediately. The Shock giving the Valiant another taste of their own medicine. Aggression meeting aggression. This means the Shock one fight away, Jake, from setting that quicker time.
Uh-oh, and now it's looking very realistic to get that full cap with time to spare. 2 support ults to 0. We've seen this play out time and time again in this composition. I don't think we've seen any teams able to win from a 2-0 support ult deficit, so Valiant gonna have to do something totally unique to get this win. Both teams have the Molten Core available, but I think that's gonna play towards Rascal, especially with the support ults keeping him up to get that lava out.
Right now getting isolated, Blessings out. Super drops a Shatter, does not get much. Dreamer, on the other side also not great. Both Reinhardt's out of the fight. Shock, looking for the rest of what they have. Joy, self-destruct ready, throws it out in the middle. How much space is it gonna make? Joy, he's gonna be able to get back. Valiant though, doing a good job of holding back. Respawns back on the way.
Yeah, Super not finding anything with his Shatter. Now the B comes out. This should secure the defense for the Valiant. Might not have even needed that. I think that was really Super's mistake to fail that cap here. Going so deep, getting killed, and also finding nothing with his Shatter. So pretty significant failure from him. Gonna mean that Valiant's in full control of this game now. Support ult's back in their favor. They've dealt with a very difficult situation, somehow surviving the double support ult. The bit of disconnection from the Shock and their focus targets.
Now for the Shock, time really becomes a big threat here. Only about a minute 30 left to go. This is not ideal. The Valiant could be getting a hold here on the team. Out. Trying to get full coverage right now. It's the back and Dreamer. I know where to go. Striker's able to finish him off. And Rascal might be making some room, but it doesn't come without a cost. The Valiant trading a limb for a limb right now, and that's not good for the offense.
Yeah, but it might be just good enough trades across the board. Still a lot of key fighting pieces available for the Shock. They need to burst through this Rhine very quickly. Striker focusing down the shield. He's got the Death Blossom as well. This could be a finish of the map here, but Shock, they need to be perfect from this point forward.
Shock right now trying to get the last little bit clean up. Rascal is down. He's done so much work thus far. Striker to the back. KSP though! That's the back of Shock. There's Choi though. The difference maker. The self-destructive too. KSP ends up spinning to fall. And the Shock, a last gasp here. 45 seconds left. The Valiant still keeping gasp on. Still delaying. But how long can they keep it up? The Shock are almost there.
Valiant, they're desperate to get to overtime here, but Coalescence from Lastro keeping this fight still interesting, still possible here for the side of the Valiant, but a lot of orange in the kill feed. It's Striker and Rascal getting a ton done. Striker keeps the enemy Rhine in the spawn, almost has another Death Blossom in this fight. Is this his third of the fight? And it looks like they're going to be able to cap with just a little bit of time to spare.
And that's a key part there. Time to spare, where the Valiant arguably could have swapped into a delay mode there, Jake, because they had such a big time bank advantage over a minute that they were able to drain the Shock. The Shock wouldn't even have an opportunity to win this map. However, because the Shock do finish with time remaining, it is still winnable. They could still put the Valiant away here, but it's going to be tough. 1 minute on Eichenwalde is not a lot of time. In fact, it's the type of time bank where it would be more expected than not for the Shock not to get point A.
Yeah, I mean, on the other hand, though, I don't hate the decision not to go full stagger delay from the side of the Valiant. If you think about some of the most important tools in that delay toolkit are the Mei and the Hammond, which are banned out this week. So, you can bring out a Tracer, but, I mean, Tracer's a hero that just gets ground up in the gears from Torb, Reaper, D.Va, Mei, Ryan. I mean, you have so much incredible damage being punched out from Tracer, and there's no obvious backline target for her to pressure like a Zen or an Ana. So I think there's not much to be done in terms of switching to delay in this current hero pool.
Very true. It's something to look at the end of fights where you don't quite have the normal tools you have available. So it does make those end of fight situations a little bit more difficult. Still though, the Shock offense, they have a minute. We'll see if they have what it takes to put it into the series here and even up their record on the season.
What's interesting is that both teams got completely rolled over on the very first attack from the other team. So the question is, can either team put on a better defense this time around?
Super's looking for the early charge again. This time though, Choi is simply getting beaten into the ground, but the healing is there! Rascal somehow alive, Super somehow alive! How in the world are the Shock still alive here, Jake?
I don't know. That's an insane level of healing coming out from Violet. Coalescence almost ready. You have to imagine this is going to be a commitment from the side of the Shock, but Lastro has his Cole as well, so it's a even trade.
Well, with that much healing, you're going to have the Cole early. Goes from side Super, dropping the early Shatter. Rain out of the fight, and Super makes his move again. The Shock on their way to point A. It's very clean so far. No one has fallen, so this should be the Shock getting it.
Super dropping under 100 HP with absolutely no shield left. It doesn't really get closer than that for a Reinhardt, so props to the team keeping Super up on the ragged edge. Valiant, they're thinking about going for a recontest, but I don't think it's wise here. I agree. I think this is the right decision. You've got to wait it out. Oh, and they're going for the all-in sneaky play. If they can initiate and get some kills here, it could be big, but they're scouted quickly.
They've been scouted. KSP moving in as Death Blossom got checked by the Torb early. Torb out the Valiant again. I'm just waiting some space here, but guess what? Rascal, Bolt and Core finds KSP. It's orange and white everywhere, and the orange is winning. Rascal's score still proving to be dominating.
Another one for Rascal, and it's all cleanup for the Shock. There's no way they're losing this fight right in front of their own spawn. That's a huge all-in play from the Valiant, and now we're into one of the worst situations in all of Overwatch. Failing to win these contests in overtime costs you dearly. Your spawn is almost twice as long in OT, so it means that when the attackers win a fight, they get almost double the progress that they would normally get in a regular round. So it's very, very possible for Shock to completely cap second point. They need to win one fight to cap second, one fight to cap third. So this could be very, very bad for the Valiant, but some ultimates to bring to bear now. At least the Coalescence gives them a big edge, at least in the initiation.
This is really tough for the Valiant. If they lose this fight here, they likely Striker in the back. Death Blossom, what's it gonna be? Moves on forward, does a lot of damage. KSP does a bit more. The Valiant have a much better engage. And now the Shock struggling to bring this back They're down Super, they're down Rascal, Striker. Still fighting tooth and nail. Respawn time, of course, long. Both teams, KSF can make this payload very inhospitable for the other side. The Bolt, oh, KSF off the edge! Moth is there! The Shock are still alive somehow, some way. And the Valiant, they were looking so good, but it's all falling apart. The Shock take the fight, Jake.
KSF, he thought he could close out that fight with the Molten Core, but Violet and Moth just got their ultimates up in time, keeping those last remaining players alive. And now KSF in desperation mode, going to switch over to the Doomfist. But now there's an uncontested Torb and Molten Core to finish the cap as well. How are you going to get through these chokes? There's lava all over them.
Lava at door 1, lava at door 2. Either way you go, it's going to be tough. But KSF is able to get on in. The Doomfist initiation deals with 2 of the major threats. But there on the other end, the Valiant able to get back in onto the payload. They're about to stop this here and now. But you're shocked, Jake. You're happy with this. They got this so incredibly far.
Wow, that knockoff from KSF could hardly have been more impactful. He's able to find 2 in that fight when I think he had no business getting any pickoffs. If Rascal had just stayed alive and the Shatter wasn't able to come down onto Striker, then who knows where that map could have gone. Still, though, very impressive offense. Shock starting with only a minute to work with. You have to be happy with getting it to the very end of second point.
Yeah, and for the Shock, where it was looking grim, they only had a minute to start things out. And let's rewind for a little bit here. We might not have a replay for it, but just imagine in your heads. The early entry by the Shock. By all rights, the Valiant should have taken them out there. There were about 4 to 5 members of the Shock that were knocking at death's door. And somehow, Violet and Moth kept everyone alive. That does not happen very often in Overwatch. And that was, to me, the pivotal play that kicked everything off.
Violet really holding down his primary fire there on 5 allies. Pretty broken. But he uses it to full effect. And now KSF maybe feeling a little bit desperate. He might start off on the Doomfist here, but it seems that the Torbjorn's been coming out on top of these trades so often, especially when you think it's going to be OT and you're going to be forced to contest cart. Is Doomfist really going to offer the same level of utility that Torb does? I think the inevitability for the Shock is going to be especially valuable given the limited time bank that the Valiant have to work with. Still, though, an explosive engage can turn things around, get some momentum going for the Valiant.
I think the scary thing here for the Valiant is that the Shock can gain the system a little bit here, Jake. They can play for that one fight to win it all, something that the Valiant couldn't necessarily do.
Almost getting a pick off there for KSB. That could have been significant, but no, both teams going to bring out the Reaper Torb. So Valiant not desperation mode just yet, playing it smart, playing it cool. They can still win this, just have to win a bunch of fights in a row. It's still doable.
It's going to be many in a row, and you'd think they'd like to start this off with a successful point A attack. Easier said than done. The Valiant looking for a way to get that quick open. KSB, of course, last time got in on Super immediately to teleport. Let's see if the same is true this time. Now, wide open, he's looking for Super again, but Super able to rotate around, takes cover in the building, and KSF is out of it. Much better rotation for the Shock.
Massive boot from Moth. Moth on the case this time, not letting that Reaper go unchecked. Boops him on the TP, then boops him off the map. So really nice stuff from that, and a desperation shatter out of Dreamer.
I don't think the cleanup's going to be there. The Shock able to stay alive, and Moth cleaning up at the end. Dreamer just had a little bit more help that could have been different. But Jake, now it's down to the final minute. The Shock on the verge of taking the series.
Yeah, and it's looking like it's going to go that way. The question here, though, is how the Cole initiation goes. If Violet gets over Ansi, uses this Cole too early, we could see Valiant find the edge of this team fight, but he's been pretty intelligent with using that ultimate before. It looks like he doesn't want to start the fight with it. He wants to have that longer coalescence, so he's going to force Lastro to open up.
Lessons out here early from Lastro. Violet responding in turn. Super's out of the fight early. The Valiant have an opportunity. The bomb on the point, the beat. They're moving forward. The Shock really disengaging from most of that, even down Super. They're going to try and go back in. But they've lost Striker. How realistic is that now, Jake? Do you even try going for point A at all?
This has to be a fight win for the Valiant. Using that sound barrier, just too much HP for Super to possibly handle. But this does mean, Shock, they're in a very strong position to win the next team fight. Massive ultimate lead. They've got the sound barrier, and there's no response really on the side of the Valiant. If I'm the SF Shock here, the key thing though is I want to wait a little bit. I want to let this payload get out of this close corner where it's difficult to fight, difficult to chase down those frags. The further the payload gets here, actually the better the situation will be for the Shock as the fight becomes closer and closer to their spawn. So respawn temple will
all in. Early shadow from Super gets nothing, blocked away. Shock and Best to beat. They still dive in. Choi, the bomb is to the back. It's overwhelming power for the San Francisco Shock, and the Valiant drain. No response. The Shock, they've gotten their revenge. They're 2-2 on the season. The Valiant fall.
Beautiful cleanup from the Shock, letting the payload come out of the castle, and there's just no way for Valiant to hold on to that position. Down 4 gold.